Disc Jockey News is celebrating the 12 days of Christmas with 12 amazing prizes you could win. Prizes include 10 free stock digital gobos from Projectogram, 6 months online music download service from Top Hits USA, an Ultra Pin Spot light and remote from Eternal Lighting, an illuminated DJ facade from Omni Systems, an easy pin pack spotlight package from Chavez DJ, a Mega Tripar Plus pack uplighting package from ADJ, 12 months online music download service from Prime Cuts, an iPad Mini 4 from DJ Event Planner, an MC4000 DJ controller from Denon DJ, 15 specialty video DVDs or drag and drop discs from Promo Only, 2 Laser Blade Gs and 2 Little Gs from Blizzard Lighting, and 2 EV EKX12 tops, plus a free pass to hear EV live at Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2016. To sign up, stop by DiscJockeyNews.com 12 days, and all prizes will be delivered in time for Christmas to be put under the tree. Best of luck, everyone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to night 11 of the 12 Days of Christmas here from the Disc Jockey News. I'm John Young with the Disc Jockey News. That's MJ from the Rewind Report. And down at the bottom of the screen is the one, the only, the talented and handsome Nick Aris.
And also very hairy this time of year.
Well, I was gonna go there, but if we look at your chin and we look farther down, then we get more depressed and sad.
Sure, there's a portion of the country that is cheering his shirt right now.
Yeah, there's like
yeah, exactly.
There's 3 people.
Yeah. It's all right. I'll tell you, it's we're excited when they win, and we're gonna just pretend that they haven't been losing that much. And
it has been almost a down year, even though they're leading a division, and it's certainly not the Eastern Division, which would be like 3 wins, and you're like the champion. But that's sports, and we're not here to talk sports. We're here to talk important things.
Important things.
Important things. First off, we've got our drawing that we're going to be doing tonight. And as you guys got to see all the sponsors that are putting this together, putting this on, and helping us to achieve this 12 Days of Christmas, which has been a great success so far. And we still have tonight and tomorrow night. This is some pretty awesome stuff. But Nick, what I wanted to, we're going to be giving away some Blizzard Lights tonight. And you happen to know a little bit about Blizzard Lights. So we're going to spend a little time talking about the lighting, because this is something that MJ and I saw at DJ Expo, but we really... we didn't get to really, touch and feel and play as at the level that you know. So we're going to dig into that a little bit, and then we'll do our drawing and such, and then we're going to get into talking about some tech things. We're going to kind of look ahead into that crystal ball for 2016, because CES, I don't know if you guys have started to see, they're starting to drip some information out about some things from CES. So that I kind of want to talk a little bit about some tech things.
Cool.
Chat board. If you guys are in on watching it on the YouTube channel, you are able to chat, and MJ's already got the emoticons going. Is that what I'm seeing?
I'm typing away so loudly I had to put on mute there. I'm answering the question. Have we picked the winner yet? Who's the winner? We have not picked the winner yet.
Exactly. We haven't done that yet.
To pick the winner. When we pick the winner, when will we know the winner?
Exactly. We do have the list downloaded. It was downloaded as of about 7:20 tonight Central Time, which would be 8:20 in the real world, according to what I've been told. So we know who's on the list. There's the 2,500 or so that are there, and then we'll be drawing that and do the random number thing in just a little bit. So first off, tonight's prizes. We're going to be giving away Blizzard Lights, 2 of the, I want to make sure I get this right, 2 of the Laser Blade Gs and 2 of the Little Gs.
Awesome.
Now, Nick, kind of walk us through. Let's talk about the Laser Blade Gs so far. We get to see those at Expo, but we didn't get to really, touch and feel, because I think there were just 1 or 2 there at the show.
Sure, there's a lot of stuff there, and most of the ones that were there were for sale. So then the one that we had on display was awesome, and it was really cool, but it was really, there's a lot of other stuff going on in the room at the time. So that's a 50 milliwatt laser moving head. It gives you the option of being able to put the laser wherever you want. You can shine it behind you, you can shine it in front of you, you can shine it over the audience heads, and you can also have patterns on the back wall behind you. There's a lot of different options you can do with this because it's a moving head. And in fact, the really cool thing is you don't even have to use DMX if you don't want to. There's a bunch of stuff built into the actual menu that you can actually set it to be a specific angle. Like, for instance, right now I have one running around over at the other building where it literally just scans the ceiling. because I don't want it hitting anybody in the face. I just have it scanning around the ceiling and doing some patterns. So it's really, really easy to do and really easy to set up, and it doesn't require a lot of knowledge of DMX to be able to get a lot of impact out of that product. But if you do have DMX, you have a lot of options because there's tons of built-in programs. There's some really cool aerial effects. There's patterns there. You can change the size, the speed, the shape, how fast it goes. There's just a ton of stuff available to you. And one thing I got to mention too about the auto mode without DMX is you also are able to select whether it has animations or it has aerial effect patterns, which is actually, like, to me is a huge thing, because I don't use animations all that much. I like to have a lot of aerial effect, but if you're in an area where you can't use fog, you got to use animations. So it gives you the option to choose between the two. Pretty cool.
Very neat. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to really dig into it. I'm sure when we get down to NAMM, they'll be on display. And
I'm gonna have I got a pretty cool little setup of those going for NAMM. So get ready. It's gonna be really cool. So
nice. Looking forward to that. Now,
you have a good lighting demo when I hear other people going, "Oh, that's a cool song. I want to download it. That's a cool song." So you have transcended the great light setup to being a full-fledged show. So.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That whole mix was it was a lot of fun. And actually we got a contact from the guy that made the remix, and he was really ecstatic about it. Shared the video on his site and everything. It was really, really awesome. So it's good that it's good to really help out a DJ like that. If you can get them some attention as well as helping us out by making a great song, it's really, really cool. So.
Let me know when you
need more songs. So when you were describing the laser blade, you said it was a 50 milliwatt?
Correct.
Now, when we first started getting into lasers, and we were getting into some of the early ones from American DJ and other companies, and they were a lot smaller than that, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. So you kind of have to balance.
Backing up like 10 years ago, it seemed like there was like a 4.9 number.
Well, okay, so the thing is with that number, that actually is the spot that the laser is projecting on. So there's actually, that's the federal standard for something that does or does not need a variance. If it projects more brightness, or more like brighter than 4.95 milliwatts, you need a variance for it. Now, people have found ways around that. A great example is like making the actual laser dot wider. Which works for a couple of things. Since it's so wide, it actually gets a great beam of light coming out of it, and it makes more, like if there's fog, it makes more light come out of that beam specifically. So it looks brighter even though the actual output isn't there. It's the same thing on like a moving head. If you take an iris and you go in and out, even if the brightness of the LED is the same, as the iris confines in and goes smaller and bigger, it's going to get brighter because it's letting more light in or out. And same thing with a wide beam laser. There's more light to actually come out of that specific spot. So when you say a 50 milliwatt laser diode, or you say a 300 milliwatt laser diode or whatever, a lot of those ratings, especially for a lot of the big name companies, are the internal power of that laser. So like, for example, the class that the Laser Blade G is a 3R, and 3R means that internally it can be a higher brightness, but by the time it actually comes out of the laser, it's a lower wattage. So that's pretty standard with most items. And actually, if you see those little like smaller lasers, they have a pretty big diode on the inside of them. But then when they hit those diffraction gradients that throw the laser dots all over the place, that is the brightness dropping down to a legal level, so you don't have to have a variance for it. And by doing that, it's spreading it all over the place, allows you to crank the brightness up internally, but it actually gets, it still stays, it has good efficacy. That's, I guess.
Okay, I gotta go Google that word.
It's doing good work. It's you're seeing little dots out all over the place. So.
Okay, now I want to ask kind of a dumb question here, and I don't know if I'm the
no
only
such thing.
Okay, like with speakers and wattage and decibels and stuff like that, is there a way on the lighting side to kind of look at the specs and balance across? Because like I said, if you read a spec about somebody saying we hit this decibel and somebody else say we do this, and it kind of doesn't always say the same thing. For lighting, is there kind of a way to look at the specs and kind of tell?
Well, there's two ways to tell. One is the actual brightness of the actual projection, and a lot of times lighting companies rate that in lux, and it'll be either at one 2 meter or 5 meter generally. Obviously, some of the beam lights, you see them rate them at like 10 meters or 25 meters, because they've got these 17R 370 watt lamps in their lights, and they're designed to shoot these massive beams, like incredible length. So you rate them in 25 meters, and then because they're just that bright, if you try to do it at like 5 meters, they probably roast the lens, but it depends on how they're tested too. So lux is actually a rating of brightness in our industry, but the problem is that it varies from meter to meter. So some meters are very, very good and very accurate, but even if you take 2 readings on one light with the same meter, you don't touch anything, you keep it exactly the same, the lux rating may go up or down a little bit. There's always a little bit of a variance in there, but you can get pretty close. If you're within about 200 to 300 lux of something, that the brightness is getting up to kind of where you want it. One thing you also got to remember with lux is the beam angle. You could have a light that has a 45-degree beam angle and have like 400 lux, and you say, well, it's not really that much. But if it had like a 6-degree beam angle and you had 400 lux, then that's not that much. So it really depends on that. And then obviously the other factor that determines brightness, at least from a standardized portion, is the actual rating of the LED. Now, we've talked several times about how LED manufacturers and companies don't always list their actual drive current of what they actually drive the LED at. Yep. They'll list what the LED is rated for. Like, for example, the EXA 6-color LED that Blizzard offers is a 15-watt LED. They are not driven at 15 watt, because if you drove it at 15 watt, you'd be maxing that LED out, and the lifespan would not be very high. So nobody ever really does that. It's, in fact, anybody in the industry you look at, they never really drive it 100%. So one thing to look for is the actual current of the LED, the amount of current going into that LED. And then you can kind of figure out what they're driving it at and kind of get a good basis for comparison. But again, like we talked about before, John, lensing is everything in LEDs. So if they have a more efficient lens, they might be getting a lot better efficacy. There's that word again. But yeah, that's the only way to really standardize something is lux. But in reality, if you use a meter that costs $35 versus one that costs $5,000, there's the brightness might be a little bit different. But you can tell if something says it has 1,000 lux at 2 meters, and you compare it to a spot that has 10,000 lux at 2 meters. You kind of know which one's going to be brighter. You know what I mean? So that's basically the way that we've kind of standardized everything.
Here's another dumb question. I call them dumb because I don't deal a lot with lighting. So this is a lot of this stuff when it comes into the really, really detailed stuff I don't know. Like with D-class amps and the way that they on a speaker, I'm trying to do a comparison here, in the way that they'll amplify an up and a down to lower the amount of actual wattage it pulls to what it's putting out. Is there stuff in the lighting world like that to where it's putting out a bright light but not pulling as much as something else?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the big things with, like, for example, a Cree LED. Cree LEDs are much more efficient. In fact, if you remember a long time ago, ADJ actually came out with something called the X-Scan LED. It was like a scanner, and they had a version that came out originally that was not a Cree LED, and it was 10 watts. And that 10-watt scanner, I mean, it was great. I had a bunch of them. They were awesome. They were great little lights. And then a year later, they came out with the X-Scan LED Plus. And that had like gobo rotation, but it also had a 10-watt Cree LED. Now, I stacked those two together. That Cree just smoked it. It was great. It was at least double the brightness. It's just a more efficient LED because they've found a way to do it. And that's one of the things you'll notice in the production world is they generally stick to name brand LEDs because of that very thing, is that the LEDs themselves are just more efficient. It's the same thing with lamps too, in like projectors or in any kind of moving head. A Philips lamp, an Osram lamp, they're much higher quality, so they'll get a lot more efficiency out of it.
What's a hybrid lamp? Because I've seen a few of the projectors that will say laser hybrid lamp.
Laser hybrid in like an actual projector?
Casio has one.
Casio has one, yeah.
That's probably my only guess is when it says laser, if it has a laser in it, and most of the time lasers, you only hear them involved in an LED, in a light source. when they're talking about remote phosphorus. That's the only real thing, because you don't get a white laser. Remember, there's no such thing as a white laser. You can only have a laser in specific frequencies.
Right.
So most of the time what is happening is you're having like a phosphorus like disc or like a round cap that you're hitting with a UV or a blue, something between like a 450 nanometer and like a 4, well, even a 385 would do it. The 385, you're going to get kind of weird orange on it though. Anyway, sorry. So as it goes down from about, let's just say 405 to the 450, anywhere in that range, that phosphorus is going to glow. And in fact, every LED that you see out there that's a white LED is just a UV LED underneath a phosphorus cap. That's the only way that works. So the only difference is that in a laser, like a remote phosphorus situation, you're actually hitting it with a ultraviolet or blue like laser point, and that laser is so much more efficient at throwing power at a specific spot. Your small laser diode will probably draw less than a watt, and you'll get an incredible amount of brightness out of it. But that's what my guess is. Obviously, I've not opened up the Casio.
They're calling it a laser LED hybrid, so I'm not sure how that works. They're not giving a whole lot of specs. I'm looking at it, and it's really not saying a lot. Obviously, they're probably keeping it kind of close to best on that. But I was just kind of curious because
what do you say we look that up real quick?
I will send you the link in our personal message area.
Okay. Actually, can you send it to me on Facebook instead? Because
he's on his phone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we friends on Facebook?
We better be.
Most people aren't my friend on Facebook. Most people aren't my friend in life.
MJ doesn't get out of the basement enough to have friends on Facebook.
I was out all night last night with a multitude of people, and even never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
Hey, it was a big day yesterday. I ended up. I was such a good boy. My wife, we went shopping, and I brought my mother-in-law with, so I spent the day with my wife and my mother-in-law shopping, doing some Christmas shopping. Then we came home.
Such a nice guy.
And then we watched a movie with the children. We watched Minions. And then I still managed to take Lori out for dinner.
Wow.
No wonder I get my 3 naps today.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Casio, Nick, there was a question that there's actually 2 questions. One that came up, and then I had one too.
Okay, go for it.
I'm trying to see if I can find the one question. Oh, they're asking about lenses in the if the lenses like for the different lights are similar to a lens like for a pair of glasses, where they're refracting light and different things like that.
So lenses, as in like with your glasses, are a little bit different because a lot of those have some of them have like multiple layers. So like as you look different ways, you'll get a different focal point. But I mean, lenses are lenses. They're bending light, so they're pretty much the same thing. Now there's a lot of, there's obviously a lot of different things in there, but they're all like, one of the ones that's used in lighting a lot is a Fresnel lens. That's nothing like you would ever use for your for like an eye optic or whatever. What is used in an eye optic, it's what's more used in like a spotlight, something that you have to get a crisp projection out of, like that'll image a gobo, or that'll you'll be able to get a nice hard edge on the side of the spot. Because those optics have to be clear, they have to be nice and see-through, obviously. Mm-hmm. Whereas a Fresnel lens or even a diffraction gradient, like what's in the laser, those you can't see through. But when you put a projection through it, it creates a certain effect on the wall. Like with a Fresnel, it gives a nice soft edge, and a diffraction gradient with a laser throws dots everywhere.
Okay. Cool. I think that'll answer Buttery's question. One last one, and then we're going to get to the drawing, unless we get into the Casio. If you guys found information. What's the difference?
I actually found one about ViewSonic. Actually, ViewSonic has a laser LED
too
also. So, yeah, I'm just there's a huge article on it here actually about how it works and everything. So,
well, is there any technology with the lenses of these things? You talk about the lenses and how important they are. Is there a technology with like what they're made of? Like with the Apple, what is it? The Sapphire.
Sapphire, sure.
Is there something in the lens world that's like that?
So a lot of that actually comes down to price. you can spend a lot of money for a glass optic. I mean, you really can. And in fact, one of the most expensive parts on some of these massive moving heads is the large lens. Like if you look at any number of hybrid fixtures that are out there, Blizzard had one's called the Cryomorph. There's one that Elation has. I think it's the SBX or the FLX or something like that. Maybe it's the FLX just came out. That one is, I mean, it has this massive lens in there that they use to focus and bring, manipulate the optics. That lens is normally glass. In fact, one of the really cool things you can see if you look at like a really inexpensive beam light, just I don't know, any number of moving heads that are out there that are like a 75 watt LED beam, you have this like plastic lens on the front of it, and it's still a Fresnel lens, but it's plastic, so it doesn't really get like as nice a definition on a long range, but the price of it is awesome. Mm-hmm. So you're really kind of, making kind of the adjustment. Whereas if you looked at a lot of the high end moving heads that are like the lamp fixtures, or you look at like even some of the LED beam fixtures from Blizzard, like the Torrent Streak, that has a really nice glass lens in the front of it, and that makes the optics so much better. It makes just the projection a lot better. So that's you do want to use glass over plastic, but sometimes you don't really have a choice when it comes to cost. But there has been talk of crystal lenses out there, but most of those have been so expensive that it doesn't really come around, and that hasn't really come about yet. But most of it's glass or plastic. So.
I think the crystals are being hoarded by the Sith right now as they're getting ready to take over the world. Lux versus lumens.
Oh, Lux versus lumens.
What's the difference, or what?
I'm waiting for this one. Go for it.
Yeah, you hear them both thrown around. Give us the.
So lumens is a hard thing to get to. A lot of people have a strange idea of what lumens are. Lumens, just like foot candles, are not done in a projection type environment. You actually have to have a very specific machine to get lumens, because lumens was created originally by like the light bulb. If you think about it, like the light bulb is a circular thing that shoots light in pretty much 360 degrees. It's except for the little point where you screw it in, there's pretty much light thrown in every direction. So when they came up with the rating system for lumens, it's a circular tube. It's like a circular lamp in a giant sphere. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I've seen a couple of them. They're incredible, but they have this giant sphere with a pole right up in the center, and the light goes right on the end of there. And that actually gives you, and you take a bunch of measurements all around the outside of the circle, and it tells you the actual amount of light output, but it's over that entire range. So this is why it's a little confusing when you hear that a projector puts out, 2,000 ANSI lumens, because it's actually not exactly that. It's not exactly, there's no real conversion to it, because if the actual lamp itself, if you take it out of that projector, you take it out of its little shield and everything, which the lamp has like a little cone that it sits in. There's a little lens in there. Mm-hmm. You take that out of there and you put it in that circle, that big open sphere, and then you take the reading on it. That's the lumens. You see, it's kind of confusing, and this is why you got to be careful about comparing lumens on projectors too, because if you think about it, you could look at a light or a projector, let's just say, that's 3,000 lumens, and you put another one that's right next to it, it's 4,000 lumens. They might be the exact same brightness just because of the optics on the inside of it. So it's not exactly accurate. However, if you compare a 2,000 lumen projector to a 5,000 lumen, it's a whole different story. So it's hard to rate. It's more, in my opinion, at least, whenever I look at projectors and I spec them out, I know the range in which I need to be. You know what I mean? Like I know that 4,000 lumens is good enough. So if I find one that's 3,250, close enough. Or if I find one that's 5, no, it's maybe a little overkill, but it's fine. And in higher end like production companies, they go for 10Ks or 20Ks or whatever, these really high end ones. they're not really worrying about a 5 or 2 or 3,000 lumen difference in that top end stuff. It's normally like saying, all right, these are up in that level, so they're going to put out a lot of light. And you're going to lose a couple hundred lumens anyway as the life of the lamp goes down anyway. So it's kind of a.
I think I read something like that. Also, I was telling John one day about that with LEDs, that they have a heat up point, that their brightness changes as they heat up and cool off.
It depends on the cooling system of the LED, but yeah, definitely. Especially if you're running like a quad color or a hex color LED where you have multiple chips on the inside of it, most lights have software that will dim them down to make sure they don't overheat. Or if they have really good cooling, they'll leave them right up there. So.
Cool. Wow, technology! My brain's hurting.
Technology.
Yeah, cool. Well, let's get to the next 2 lights that we'll be giving away. We've gotten through 2.
You did it all on just too long. Holy crap!
And then, of course, we're going to be giving. We'll be doing the laser blade Gs, and then we're going to do 2 of the little Gs. Now, Nick, give us the overview of what a little G brings to the table for a mobile DJ.
All right. So, I mean,
Little Wayne either, are we? Right?
What's that?
What?
This isn't Little Wayne's friend, right? Little G.
No. No. This guy's way too underground for that guy. So the little G is like a little, really portable little spot. It actually is a nice, handy little. So Blizzard has a couple of lights that are based on that same platform. They've got the little G, they've got the Flurry Beam. They now have the Flurry Beam. And they also have the Flurry EXA. Those are all based on that same housing. Really cool, compact housing, which is really nice. It has 40-watt LED. In it, has 9 gobos, the 7 colors. It's just a really great starter spot. It's perfect for people that want to have a nice spotlight that's bright because it's 40-watt LED, so it's got a lot of power behind it, and it's just easy to carry around. I mean, that's the real thing is that I did 2 gigs this weekend, and I had to haul these massive lights back and forth because I'm a nerd and I like to have a Swiss Army knife when I go. But it's just, I remember when I used to use these smaller lights, they were so much easier to just move in. I could carry a case of 4 of them in on the way in, and wouldn't have to worry about making multiple trips and whatever. And so it's nice to have a small and portable light, as you guys all know, and not to mention having the ability to have a lot of power coming out of it at the same time is awesome. So it's a great starter light, but it will last to the person that gets this. It will last them a long time because you're going to have a lot of that good brightness with a 40-watt LED that'll keep it relevant in the industry for a while. So
very nice.
I told John that that's what impressed me about it at the expo was the size to brightness. I was impressed with that.
Yeah. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, boy.
I'm trying to like in between comments here. I'm trying to read about the hybrid thing.
I don't think it is. I think it's from what I understand on it. It's kind of like rewording something that isn't.
Yeah,
gourmet.
I was gonna say I would be really impressed if they had already put that into something, but
it's like a gourmet hamburger. Shut up.
Come on. It's still beef. It's still beef.
It's still ground up. I think the biggest thing that Cassie, when I did the videos with them, the biggest selling point that they had on it was that it didn't heat as much, and they were able to point it straight down, hang it up back and forth because it didn't have the heat going over the different areas.
Yeah,
Anthony, I have no idea what you mean by the mini me. So
no, the mini me is a projector moving head made by Roby.
What is it, Roby? Yes.
Yes, I did see that. That's right.
Except for the price.
Yeah, well,
that one and what is it, Elation?
The emotion. That's the
emotion.
Yep.
Yeah,
very cool light. With all due respect to Elation and ADJ and everything, I love the concept of it. I've been begging for one of those for years, but I don't know if 4,000 lumens is enough.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say about the Roby one. If they would be twice as bright or 3 times as bright, I think they could charge probably 3 to 4 times the amount for it, and people would be happy to pay.
It's such a great light. I worry about that. Like for me, if 5,000 lumens is my cutoff, I don't ever go any lower than that anymore. I used to, but I don't anymore.
Yeah.
So.
What's the other one's wattage?
The Roby.
Wattage. Yeah, the Roby is what?
Goodness.
I'd have to look. I thought it was pretty bright though.
No, I don't. That was 2,500 or less.
Yeah, because the
really?
other.
Yeah. I didn't think it wasn't as bright as I was really, because this was
really bright compared to the other one. Like the other one, you would do like 4 or 5 feet off the table and do some sort of projection on the table, or that sort of thing. It's not like let's put 6 of them in a club and do special.
Mhm.
It's not that bright.
Just man, I've seen the Mini B in person, and it's. I mean, it looked okay. Like it looked really good.
Yeah, it looked okay, but it was pretty dark. I think when we saw him at LDI, I think it was LDI last year we saw him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the concept because as a DJ who spins a lot of videos, that just takes my whole thing to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
I can
and here's
go ahead.
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to products like that is that is a technology step. It's a step that was made in the industry that is removing other things. Like for example, CMY in a moving head. That was a big thing 5 years ago. Like it's flags that move in and out, and I mean even the gradient wheels. It's still 3 gradient wheels. That takes up a lot of space inside of a moving head. Now this little thing about that big sits in front of the LED, and that's it. And that's your gobo wheel. That's your color wheel. That's your framing spot. That's the framing shutters. That's all these like things that are just right into this little tiny thing. Wow. So I guarantee you we're going to see a lot more products like that out in the future because of how much that condenses the technology down. And now it just becomes, what's the biggest light source we can put behind it? So we'll see. And that's something that I mean, if all the manufacturers aren't working on it right now, I mean, obviously Elation already has something, but I can almost guarantee you ADJ is working on a version of it. They just have to be.
I would think so. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a couple pop up at NAMM, even though they probably will be coming in from some of the non-major companies. We're probably going to see them downstairs at NAMM, is where I'm guessing.
I was going to say, I think I should go to Alibaba and start searching right now.
Well,
see which company
here's the only thing. If I'm not mistaken, there's a patent on that. Moving head projector, and you notice how in the Emotion it says high-end systems on there.
Yes.
And I don't know how that will work. That's something that's far even beyond I don't know a whole lot about patenting. I just don't. I know how to research patents, but I don't know how to
right. Yeah, who was it that was telling us, John, that is it Philips that holds a lot of patents with lighting? Yes. Yeah.
And so Philips has a patent on DMX color mixing from DMX with RGB. They have a patent on tunable white DMX color mixing, and then they also have a patent on single DMX mixing. But here's the thing. I've actually had a lot of conversations with people in the industry about this, and some people, I mean, it's very divided. Some people really hate it, and other people love it. Normally, the ones that hate it are the ones that have to pay the Philips. But that being said, the ones that love it, their argument is that they think that it allows the good companies, the ones that are established, the ones that are here and willing to put in the time to get their products out and make them legit, are the ones that belong in the industry anyway. So it's kind of a way to prevent a lot of, I hate to use the word garbage, but there is a lot of junk out there, and it prevents that from getting into the market, basically. However, Alibaba, you can just order whatever you want. And it's not going to hurt anything. But
that's what I was going to go and see what they have and see who shows up with the exact same thing at one of the expos.
Sure.
Yeah, with their name on it. Because we are seeing a lot of that. But anyways, are we ready to pick yet, John?
I think we are. I think we did the chat first, and then we'll do the drawing, and then we'll wrap up and send everybody home.
It's hurting with all this info.
No, it's good stuff. We've learned.
I guess that proves that I have a brain.
That's true. Okay,
get you a scarecrow off it.
So we pulled the list off at about 7:20 tonight. So we have that all set up, and we're going to randomize the numbers between 0, or I should say 1, and about 24 something here. And click random. And 1267.
Woo!
12.
Nick, you have to do the drum roll.
1267 is Jamie Crevelon, but he's from De Pere, Wisconsin. Did I say that right?
Oh, awesome.
Nightlight Entertainment. Jamie is our winner tonight.
Nice. Awesome.
And I'm
Gotta
sure.
keep the Blizzard love in Wisconsin. No, just kidding. Not really. No, just kidding.
So that means that who won this, if you have any questions, you can go to one of your state people and ask them all the questions. He's there for you.
How far away is that from you guys?
De Pere's up near Appleton. Is actually right by Packers Stadium, like right now. So it's he's having a good night then. And he gets some lights, so it's a good night for.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. A win and lights. A win and a win. Yeah.
A win and a win. It's a good day.
Good day for Jamie. So congratulations, Jamie. Yep. I'll send you a message here. I'll find you on Facebook or one of the social media channels and send that off to you. If you're, we got lucky last week. We had one of our winners that was in the chat with us at the time. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That was pretty cool.
Okay, I just want to answer some questions from in the chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am not wearing an ugly sweater. Okay. Really cool, kind of Argyle-y DJ T-shirt. Okay, see, it's a T-shirt, and you have a little DJ thing there. Okay, it's just I'm not wearing an Argyle sweater. I don't think I've ever owned an Argyle sweater or Argyle socks.
I would actually wear that ugly sweater if it was an ugly sweater.
See, a lot of times when I do the nicer clubs, I'll throw like a jacket over top of this with this up there and kind of give it that half sport dress sort of thing with this. But I just threw it on tonight because I'm tired today and I want to be comfortable. This is a little bigger shirt size. Like, I'm gonna be comfortable.
So Nick, what do we have for our next show? What's some cool stuff that we are going to be able to dig into?
Well, we got a lot of stuff actually. I really want to talk about like crowd blinding and like when and why and we got a couple of new products at Blizzard that are pretty cool that are great crowd blinders. I'd love to talk about that, and that also ties into strobes, which is perfect for New Year's.
Yeah,
strobes is a big thing for New Year's, and crowd blinding is too. So I think it'd be a great thing to talk about.
Yeah, let's see if we can maybe, that being New Year's is coming up quickly. Maybe let's see if we can do something maybe Wednesday night or one of the nights this week if you've got some time. But we'll talk about that off.
And if there's anything else that you guys want to hear, any listeners that want to hear something specifically, or watchers, I guess. Sorry,
yeah,
use radio. If they got any questions or whatever, just put your comments down below and we'll answer them.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
What night is his show on? What night is he normally on?
We kind of vary. Sometimes it depends on when his schedule is, but typically we've been putting things up on either a Tuesday or Sunday. But if we...
No, it's just a crapshoot.
It really is. It really is. It depends on when Nick can squeeze us in to do a live show.
I got a lot of irons in the fire, my friend.
Yeah, so we got to work around everyone else's schedule. So
I just want to remind everybody who's live right now, okay, I'm going to do a little personal promotion here.
Yep, go ahead.
Still have Monday and Tuesday and part of Wednesday to sign up for the Rewind Report giveaway. We picked the winners this Wednesday. So if you have not gotten a chance to go sign up, go to Disc Jockey News /report or rewind. Which is it?
Rewind.
So it's discjockeynews.com/rewind. That's all you have to type and enter to win. We picked them Wednesday.
We'll be pulling that list down. We've got quite a few. I think we had. The odds are a little bit better on that one, but I think we're approaching 1,000 people signing up for that one.
I think everybody's getting an MJ sticker who wins. No matter what they win, they're getting MJ stickers.
Nice.
Forcing it upon them.
Right across their forehead.
You gotta bring some of those MJ stickers to NAM, man. I need a couple of those.
I have lots of them. And
all right.
Shirts. I gave John a couple of the MJ shirts last year.
Hook me up.
Yep. Ended up having
Okay, then we'll do a trade because I was talking to John earlier this week that all of our prizes, I'm like, I have a T-shirt for that company. I have a T-shirt for that company. And I got down to Blizzard. I'm like, I don't have a Blizzard T-shirt. And John,
I will grab you both one. How's that sound? And maybe some other stuff too, if we can.
That's.
Well, I have because on my wall in my studio. It's again, John and I were talking about girls I dated in the past, and each one brings a special thing. But one I dated taught me about this. It's not magnetic paint. It's I can't think of the word, metallic paint. And you paint it on your wall and then put a color over it, and then that makes that magnet. So like you have like a refrigerator magnet, you can stick it on your wall. So I put a stripe all the way around the studio and have stickers from all different DJ brands all over the place. And I have, what is it, up to 4 Blizzard now? I think 4 different Blizzard lighting stickers up on the wall. So, because I put them on magnet things also, I don't never lose them. So I have a lot of Blizzard stickers.
Nice. No swag.
You know.
Hey, so to answer your question about the LED projector, I do now know what it is.
Okay.
So according to ViewSonic, the way that technology is done is they actually have it's a blue laser module that sends light to a phosphorus like lens cap.
Yep.
And that actually produces a green color. It's a green phosphorus, which is kind of cool. And they then have a red and blue LED in there to give a little bit more oomph to the full white. So they actually have 2 LEDs, which are red and green, and then red and blue, and then they have a laser hitting this phosphorus piece, making green. My guess is the reason they did that is because of something called the foot optic curve. We've talked about this before, John.
Yep.
This is the point at which your eyes are most sensitive. They probably did that because since the green doesn't have to be as bright to make your eyes see it, they use the lowest power thing to make that output. That'd be my guess. And which is a great idea. It makes it's obviously, according to this, it adds a lot of efficiency, like 20 or 30%.
Yeah, we're talking about how efficient. That was a big talking point.
Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, and I'm it says it's 2,000 lumens, so I'm kind of curious how they came to that number, and oh yeah.
All I've got is
I got one for you. Ready?
Oh,
I have nothing, man.
There you go.
Oh, that's my favorite one too. I can only look at that one. It's stuck on one of our road cases. I look at it and I'm like,
on magnet, so I always have. You know what I don't have, and every year I ask them and they never have it. Is I just blanked on the name. Pioneer. They never have Pioneer stickers. I can't find one. Nobody wants one, and they never have them. So I have Techniques. I have all the other brands. And can't get a one from them.
Well, NAMM is the time, my friend.
It's coming right around the corner.
Still won't have it. I mean, because they always go, I don't know, I've never even seen one. I know, I'm asking you. I had a squirrel moment there. Sorry.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap things up. It is about 8:40, and we don't want to go too late because there's people on the East Coast that are wanting to call it a night. Thank you guys for watching tonight. If you have got any questions, please put those in the comment section down below. Tomorrow night, we're going to be doing our final night. We're going to be giving away the EKX 12Ps from Electro Voice. Right there is the company. Great sounding speakers. This is going to be a great addition for some of you who are just starting out. These could be your main speakers for smaller events. Add a sub for most of your events. If you are doing things and you need some ceremony sound or a secondary system for small, you're going to win either way. These are some really sweet cabinets. Again, I have a pair right over there. I'm going to drag those over here and set them right next to me tomorrow night, so that way I can sit here and cuddle up to them. It'll be magical.
Wow.
Now we know what he does off camera.
Exactly. You don't want to see what's beyond.
So your night out with your wife the other night, was it really with her or was it with the
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It was with the prizes. Before they go, I wanted to have some time.
Oh, tell me we aren't gearheads.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, good stuff. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you much for watching tonight. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News, MJ from the Rewind Report, and Nick Ayers from Blizzard Lighting. We will see you next time. Good night.
Tomorrow night.
Later.
The Disc Jockey News 12 Days of Christmas are sponsored by Projectogram, Top Hitch USA, Eternal Lighting, Omni Systems, Shabe DJ, ADJ, Prime Cuts, DJ Event Planner, Denon DJ, Promo Only, Blizzard Lighting, and Electro Voice.